For the people who don't know, tell us a little bit about your company and your products.
Yeah. So at 12 Tides, we source sustainably grown seaweeds from American sources and bake them into better for you salty snacks.
Okay, so how did this? What you hit your head in the shower one day, or you were at the beach, or what was it that made you want to create this product?
Yeah, so I spent a number of years in the seafood industry, and I saw all of the bad parts of commercial fishing and aquaculture. Spent time in places like Alaska, Mexico, and Indonesia, and so I wanted to find things that we can grow in the ocean that are as good for the ocean as they are for us.
What do you mean by that? Is good for the ocean as they are for us?
Yeah, so growing seaweed in the ocean is not only not bad for the ocean, but really an active good. It can be a part of a regenerative ocean farming model, which I think is really compelling and something that we need a lot more of in the world today and in our global food system. And by growing seaweed in the ocean, it sequesters a ton of carbon. On an acre-for-acre basis, a seaweed farm sequesters 20 times as much carbon as a terrestrial forest. And it also reverses acidification on a localized level, stopping the biodiversity loss that we're seeing in the oceans. And lastly, it absorbs a lot of the nitrogen that flows into our oceans from terrestrial fertilizers that also have negative impacts on the coastal ecosystems.
So, is your goal to create a net positive business versus just a sustainable? I guess we call it regenerative business.
Yeah.
So how do you do? I mean, first of all, you've got this product, this 12 Tides Seaweed Co. Seaweed Puffs. These are the sea salt version, which I've had, and they're delicious. I think we had them on an episode of Taste Radio where I was garbage mouthing away. Not because they're garbage, but that's just what I call it when I'm cookie monstering the food. So tell me a little bit about, how do you, as a new founder, not only formulate a product, make a brand, but also do it that way?
Do it sustainably.
Not sustainably, but you're talking about net positive.
Yeah, right.
That's even better than sustainable.
Right. Yeah, and we have three pillars, and one is that it needs to taste great, because in order
that should be every brand's first pillar, by the way.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
It really should be, and it has to be that way because in order to have a positive impact, it needs to reach a ton of people, and in order for that to happen, it needs to taste great.
Right.
Secondly, we want ingredients in there that people know where they're coming from, and that creates that transparency throughout the global food system. That people can trust their ingredients, where they're coming from, and it creates the accountability for suppliers to do things the right way. And then lastly is we want to focus on the regenerative components and everything throughout the product and its experience, from the shipping and logistics. We're very focused on packaging. Getting to a compostable packaging is absolutely critical for us, as well as all of the ingredients in there, focusing on sources that minimize that.
Now, you just sit in the boardroom or a pool, as it were, or the ocean, as it were, and say, we got to do all this right now?
I think there are certain things that we are going to do from the very beginning, and that are absolutely critical for us. And then there are some things that we need to move towards over time. And so those things from the very beginning for us were 1% for the planet. We started with 1% for the planet since pretty much the day we founded the business. And then secondly, for us, that's critical is ocean positive foods. And so we've been really focused on our seaweed sourcing in that. And, those are things that were kind of foundational pillars. And then beyond that, the things that we're moving towards are, number one, all of our other ingredients. How can we maximize the sustainability of all of those? And secondly, on the packaging side, there is no way we're going to be a brand that puts more plastic packaging into the ocean.
Thank God. So, thank you.
We are going to have compostable packaging.
I love this, that you want to be a net positive business. Where do you find your inspiration? Because there aren't that many brands that are doing regenerative business. The only one I can think of off the top of my head is Waikiki.
Yeah, so the inspiration for the regenerative component, it really came from my time in the seafood industry, and I, saw all of the negative impacts that have sort of accrued in our ocean from the way those industries operate throughout the world. And sort of the best case for a lot of those is kind of sustainable or neutral.
Gotcha.
And so I thought there was an opportunity to go beyond that for the oceans, which for me personally, I have a very close connection to as a surfer, scuba diver, sailor. And I think a lot of consumers feel the same way.
Of course, you want to make sure that that's there for the next generation. Listen, Patrick, thanks so much for being on the live stream with us, and I hope that you are mad successful in your mission.
Thank you so
much.
And
that this goes next level. Thank you very much for what you do.
Thank you for having me.
And for being delicious. It's good having you.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe and ring that bell.